All right. When I was growing up, Coney Island at night was not a safe place. Now, I don't know how much safer it is or isn't. Since I live here, I don't go out there. I think the whole point of this channel and the whole point of kind of going out of my way to save up and pick up cameras here or there and basically just trying out new gear has been to just push myself to shoot more. And a couple months ago, I took my freshly purchased Leica SL and I go over all that in the previous video. We've been getting this really thick fog pretty much every night, and it just looked like this magical, like otherworldly light. So I figured I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna go out to Coney Island, because if, you know, the middle of Brooklyn looks this interesting, I wonder what the beach looks like. It's in the middle of a pandemic, and so there's no bathrooms or anything. I got a few really interesting photographs out of it. It does look like it's like another planet. It kind of looks like some old European beach town shot in like the 40s or something on a large format camera. There's just so much diffusion and atmosphere. It was a fun time. You know, it's got a pretty famous boardwalk. When I started biking down there, I realized, I'm like, oh crap, sun's starting to come down. And I thought I was gonna get some photographs of like the sunset or the water, whatever. But it ended up kind of working out even better. The low light capabilities of the SL were surprisingly good. It's not the best when it comes to low light. It's a Leica camera. Leica's cameras and their sensors are like known to be trashed for low light. The real beauty of all this was this lens. It's a 645 format. Secor C 80mm 2.8, 80mm on the camera body. The system that this lens actually belongs to is a normal focal length. It's like a 50. And this is actually on an adapter. I've got it adapted to Fuji right now. But this is the actual lens. This is the size of the lens. And that's not that much bigger than a 50mm lens. I mean, it's got some really big glass in there. But the lens itself is mostly plastic, but that does not mean that it feels cheap. It does not. What I realized about this lens is how well it works with the SL. It's got a focus throw that's super short too, so it's great for video. And all the video footage that I shot here is Cinema 4K. So what that means is when you attach this camera to the full frame camera like the SL, you're back to about 80mm. And then you crop into that for the 4K video, which is 100 megabits in here. You put it on, the focus peaking is great. It's got a great EVF. I do punch in sometimes to make sure, because the focus throw is so short. You're like, wow, I can just cover the entire range of my focus just going like that. The aperture is super snappy on this lens. It feels a little cheap, but it's snappy. Although you can tell that it's not really meant for like street use, because even the slightest bit of sun coming in from everywhere causes this basically a big loss of saturation towards the middle of the photograph. I don't know what to make of it. Hopefully it's nothing wrong with the lens. I've inspected it pretty thoroughly. I don't think it's haze or fungus or anything, because that would cause different issues. But yeah, you get this loss of contrast right in the middle, and it's pretty annoying, so you have to be kind of careful. But shooting with it at night, like, you don't have a strong source of light, or you don't have the sun, essentially, it makes it a lot more usable. It produces some really amazing photographs. It's a very contrasty lens. I don't have the steadiest hands. 80mm plus a 1.5 crop on top of that. It was a rough time hand holding it. This is my third time shooting this video. I tried to shoot this video using this and the Sigma L 24-72.8. It did not work out. Tried to use the Zoom H1 as an off-board source for audio, and apparently my lav mic that I connected to that is messed up, and there was like screeching and popping all throughout the video. Then I tried to shoot using the same lav mic on my Fuji XT3. Didn't work out. Turns out the lav mic's bad. So, man, it's been a challenge just trying to get this video out. So yeah, real fun time. If you shoot street, if you shoot travel, and you don't mind the crop for video, for 4K video, which is a pretty decent video. It's not the best in the world. But yeah, man, Coney Island was a fun time. The way they have things still kind of lit up there is really interesting. They didn't go completely dark because nothing's open besides Nathan's, and I'm not trying to go get a hot dog. And got a couple of sketchy moments where I was like, man, this person better not try to rob me. You know, if you look like you belong and you don't care and you don't let people bother you, you'll be fine. Go out and shoot. That's what I'm using all of this as an excuse for, is to go out and shoot. But I'm going out tomorrow. I'm thinking maybe West Side. I'm thinking about taking probably my favorite Fuji camera of all time. Still have it. Probably getting rid of the XT3 soon. Fuji's kind of soul is all of it's in here, in their little rangefinders. And the XE1 I think is the best one they ever made. Not talking about video at all. And I speed boost this guy onto here using a Viltrox EF2X Smart Speed Booster. I take this guy, I take 645 to Pentax K to EF, and I've got a full frame equivalent. But now you're shooting a medium format lens on a full frame equivalent Fuji of this size. All the film simulations, all their classic film simulations, it might actually rip the mount off this thing one of these days. But man, you can get this lens for 200 something, I believe. And the XE1, I've got this guy for years, beat to hell. It's falling apart, and it's, you know, if I had to throw this camera at somebody and run, no problem. Paid like $120 for it years ago. Nobody wanted it then. But back to the SL. I think the price on these is going to continue to drop. I think you can easily get one now for $2,000 even, unless you're going to eBay. eBay's got like a 10-15% premium because people are trying to make their fees back. But if you find like a local seller, because the type of people that buy this stuff know it and like it and actually shoot it. You're buying the seller. If you meet someone, you trust them, and they seem like they care about their equipment and know about it, by all means, you know, go for it. Run it through like stolen camera finder or whatever. Make sure, you know, you can have them send you files. I bought a Leica Q years ago. The guy even had like the receipt for it. By the way, Leica Q, probably my second favorite camera of all time. One of the few cameras out there that I truly believe makes you a better photographer. And this guy's pretty special too. I think in a few months they'll go down to 1800 probably. And at that point, yeah, just get it. If this is an excuse for you to go out and shoot like it is for me, then by all means do it. You're gonna have a great time.